He made everything beautiful in its time. Also, He has put eternity into man's heart. Yet, so that he cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. It is Saturday, the 15th day of April, 2023. Clive Walsh here, and I get the honor of reading our devotional thought for today, and I trust and pray that God will minister to you in a specific way as you take in, contemplate, and perhaps re-listen to this throughout this day on Lighthouse Christian Radio, FM 101.3, where it's aired on the even hour all day long. And the devotional thought today is entitled, A God-Given Burden. That's a God-given burden. And the verse today, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11, and it reads, He made everything beautiful in its time. Also, He has put eternity into man's heart. Yet, so that he cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. That's Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11. Pastor Alistair Begg writes, Ultimately, there are no true atheists. Those who claim atheism may be unwilling to acknowledge this about themselves, but God has given to every man a heavy burden. In the deep recesses of their being, they know that God is, and it is the very isness of God which creates a dilemma in man's and women's hearts and minds. God created the world. He made it beautiful in all of its perfection. God also made mankind to know Him, to commune with Him, and to walk with Him in the garden, and to enjoy all the benefits of His companionship. But man turned his back on the designer, and as a result, the perspective of eternity that has been implanted within us now largely traumatizes and tests us. People naturally seek to repress a knowledge of God. Romans 1 verses 18 and 19 tells us, but a knowledge of God is inescapable. God has created us for a divine purpose, to know and to worship Him, and unless we discover and fulfill that purpose, we will never be fully satisfied with anything else offered along life's journey. No relationship with a child, a parent, spouse, lover, or friend can fulfill this great longing, nor can any experience, any possession, or any achievement. This is the burden that God has laid on humanity. We will be forever dissatisfied until we come to know the one thing that can bear the weight of our eternity, namely, to know Him and to live in fellowship with Him. You and I, who are creatures of time, were made for eternity. We were made for God's presence. It should therefore be no surprise to us that when we turn away from Him, our lives are marked by frustration and confusion. When we choose to live in the dark, we lose our sight. The day that we finally acknowledge this is a great day. The burden of being without God will weigh you down until you realize there has to be an answer somewhere, in someone, and of course there is. There are many things in this life that are beautiful, and we are free to enjoy them in abundance with the way God designed us to. But there is nothing in this life that is ultimate. And we will not be free until we not only acknowledge this intellectually, but live it out in our experience. Is there something that you are determined to have or to get in your life because you think it will make you truly alive and fulfilled? What is it that you feel you could not live or could not be happy without? Be careful not to allow something good to become your God. Instead, place your ultimate hopes on the shoulder of the only one who is strong enough to bear them, and He is the Eternal One. And truly today, may you find yourself putting your hope fully in Him, resting completely in His finished work. Then and only then can you be freed from that burden on your shoulder, the weight of sin, and that gnawing sense that you were created for more than what you're experiencing. Today, may that be the day, may this be the day that you surrender your heart and your life to the God who created you for a purpose, that you might have fellowship and intimacy with Him, and He will make all things beautiful in your life as you do that. Watch, you'll see. In Jesus' name. And that concludes our devotional thought for today. And for those of you reading through the scriptures in a year, Ecclesiastes 23 and 24, as well as the book of Revelation, chapter 2. Clive Walsh here. May the Lord richly bless you.